if we really want to look at where we compare things when it comes to sprinting, we have to go back to the understanding that pitching is not sprinting. What is similar is the explosive start. And that's not similar, it's necessarily similar in terms of what they're doing. It's similar in terms of task and objective that goes through the brain and how we achieve it. And all of that is still based off of science and laws of motion. Now, what we need to understand is that our hips, our pelvis are going to start to create the impulse that drives energy into our feet so that we can attack the ground. That has to happen in both aspects so that science applies and tells us that based off of Newton's third law, for every action there's an equal opposite reaction. If I apply force into these shin angles at this manner, energy gets directed that way. Within the context of the sport of sprinting, that is suitable and the shin angles are deeper because they're trying to continue accelerating forward. And what you have to understand is that sprinting is not just sprinting. There's acceleration phases. There's drive, acceleration, top end speed, and maintenance phases. And sprinting is such a huge monster to teach. You have to, there's so many intricacies to it. But fundamental understanding that we have to possess is that the optimal moment that is happening that's within pitching is the block start. After that, it completely changes due to the context of the sport and what they're trying to achieve as opposed to what a pitcher is trying to achieve. So what we can correlate, what we can learn, is look how the hips need to initiate energy into the feet. Watch that happen. Bang, bang, bang. Notice, the knees don't go backwards at all. There is not an extension moment that happens. They actually go deeper into flexion because the pelvis is driving down. The knees get deeper into flexion, deeper shin angles. 90, almost, I'm not even 90. I haven't seen one kid yet that tries to do that letter H without understanding what should be happening, that doesn't push this back heel backwards, that doesn't go from a flexed knee to an extended knee. And I've explained that several times before. So that needs to be said and clear. So now, that is what is similar. That portion is what is similar. And then the top portion gets explained even more in terms of context. Now, when we look at the bottom, we want to see those same changes. Does the pelvis initiate energy into the feet? It does. Does the knee extend backwards? She can be better. Slight extension backwards, but barely anything. She's driving. We don't see a lot of heel collapse because she's driving. And just like science tells us, if she's got all the energy into that foot, into that arch, then it's going to what? Equal and oppositely go back instantaneously. We see that happening. Now, we see the same thing happen with the front. The problem with comparing that position, and like I said, you'll get more explanation. I'm a little more passionate in the second video, in the second portion of this video. But our next job as a pitcher is now the head and shoulders are going to start to posture. Now, that posture needs to continue happening through the pelvis. I've explained that plenty of times before. But because that next moment is so different within each sport, you cannot use an image and say that, and tell kids that you are supposed to achieve this. You need to achieve this image. If you achieve this image, you're going to be fantastic. Because number one, look at how deep these angles are. Look at how deep these angles are when you're achieving it. Most of the pictures, the person you have achieving it is here. So when they push from their shins, they're pushing energy here and there, here and there. And that's what you end up seeing. That is not acceleration-based movement. It's not. Look at, I explained it already in the second video. You'll see more there. But understand that. So this is the common image, picture, position, whatever, that so many try to push as ideal positions for pitchers. This lowercase h, any of those things. I need you to understand, and the reason I said ask them if they coach sprinters or if they coach speed at all, is because if you don't innately understand the what the context of the sport of sprinting in terms of track and all those things is trying to accomplish, or understand phases between drive, acceleration, top end, and maintenance, then you are not going to be able to know what specific things you can tie back to the pitching motion. And it's very simple. Understand that his next task, this picture that they always show and they compare to, they find a spot where every other pitcher kind of looks like they're in this position. Number one, what happens after this position is important. His task and objective is that he achieves triple extension because he's going to cycle that energy back and down to be able to continue accelerating. In pitching, your next move after this is posturing up to release the ball and land this leg. You tell me if it looks like he's trying to land this leg. Number one, bang, toe drag. Where is he landing? What is he doing? Pushing back and down behind him. You cannot compare a position through an image without going through the tasks and objective of that specific sport, of that person, of what they're trying to achieve, number one. Number two, after this position, what did I say about posture? You're trying to get right here. Look how he maintains this same angle. He gets even lower to continue to match the spine and the shin and accelerate. You can't compare those two. You can't compare those two. And if you're a coach or a parent of a pitcher, you need to understand that. You need to understand that. And while most of the people posting this stuff, it's just indoctrinated and ingrained information from only what they know and what they've been told, because you can look at some of the social media sites of the people posting these things, and they're doing drills about hip extension, hip drive, and all those things. And all those drills directly contradict the idea of this letter H. But because we don't coach sprinters, because we don't understand acceleration moments the way we not, I wouldn't say that we should, but intimately like others do, we are perpetuating an image and emotion that we are going to continue to get kids to try to look like without any understanding that the reason he looks like this is solely based on what his brain is tasked his body to do to achieve acceleration. They are not the same things in the pitching motion, and they never will be. They will not.